I had this friend a long time ago who made a pretty funny mistake in the stock market. This was back during the dot-com boom of the late 90s. He spent $300 on a penny stock, but he bought the wrong stock by accident. Many inventions were made purely by accident. Charles Goodyear allegedly found the formula of vulcanized rubber by mistake. The microwave oven was created by mistake. Post-it notes were accidental byproducts of the space program back in the 60s. I have some really strange friends. They take a lot of drugs and have a lot of really strange parties. One of them is a blindfolded baking party. There's a guy who bought a house in the hills. He wanted to do some additions to his basement, but he didn't want to hassle with local regulations. But he found a secret network of natural cave tunnels under his house. But what he didn't know was these tunnels were used by authorities back in the Middle Ages to get rid of people. Crazy people, evil people, heretics, or pretty much anybody that nobody wanted to have around. But once they'd been in there for a few hundred years, their ghosts somehow merged into a collective consciousness. But then the collective consciousness forgot who they were and why they were there. And when he was digging down into his future second-level basement, he unwittingly released this collective consciousness. But since none of the individual ghosts remembered themselves, this ended up being a cloud of collective amnesia. A collective amnesia that floats along the countryside, making people forget everything as it rolls through. But it creates some strange kind of vortex behind it. The end result is that you'll have a collection of ideas. This amnesia cloud will hit you and you'll forget everything. Then the vacuum in your mind will be filled by whatever stray ideas or memories that are floating around, which means whatever you believe to be true now isn't what you thought was true a few minutes before. But since you can't remember what you don't remember, you can't really compare the false ideas that you do remember to the true ideas that you don't remember. The only rule is that somebody has to wear a blindfold and then bake something from scratch. Of course, somebody has to watch them so they don't inadvertently put rat poison into the mystery casserole, and everybody has to eat this. One potential accidental invention would be the Monkey Island scenario, which is when you get a bunch of monkeys on an island and give them enough typewriters and paper. Eventually, as the story goes, one of them will write the complete works of Shakespeare. Of course, this would be making accidents on purpose to create a specific outcome, which is completely different than what accidental inventions tend to be. Strangely enough, the accidental investment turned his $300 into $30,000. Of course, he eventually lost it, as you would expect, but sometimes lucky accidents can turn into successful strategies.